Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 819 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles. It's a Wednesday, and you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. I don't just have JD Raider, not just Ben Funky Askren, but I got Shane Sparks fresh off the bike. He did a 227-mile bike ride. Not this morning, but he's done that. He did a couple miles today. He says he's gassed already, which I'll be the judge of that because I don't know what Shane Sparks' gas looks like, but I bet it's still pretty high energy. So, Shane, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, guys. One of my favorite mornings of the week, Wednesday morning, chatting some wrestling and some other things with you guys as always. And I got a special treat if you want me to come out of the gates with a, talk about a Spencer Lee 10-second attack and getting after it. I think I've talked about this on the show before, but I finally dug it out. I have not seen this in almost 5 years, and I was afraid when I opened this bag up. I'm like, I have no idea what this thing's going to look like. No. Luckily, it doesn't look too bad. So here it is.
Oh boy. You
guys can get a look at this. This is the Jordan Burroughs head wrap after he won the world titles. I believe he beat, was it Sabalov or the Russian in 2017? This is the head wrap because I like sports memorabilia, but I like rare stuff. I've always wondered what happened to Gable's head wrap was it Munich in 72 when he's sitting up there, he's got the big head wrap?
Yeah.
This is Jordan Burroughs head wrap just after he won the world title in 2017 in Paris.
Shane, can I ask you one question, Shane?
Yeah.
Does Jordan Burroughs know you have that, or did you sneak up and take it out of the garbage?
I know he dropped it on the floor, and I'm just like, what the hell? I'm going to take it, and maybe I'll give it to. If he wants it back, I will definitely give it back to him. If I was Burroughs, I'm a little bit nuts, but he should sign it, give it to one of his, put it in a little case,
a charity or something. Because listen, he might file a restraining order now, Shane. We're not sure. kind of creepy.
Now the thing with Burroughs is he's got so many head wraps that they're. There's a lot of them out there. That guy's always getting the head wrap. But yeah, that's Burroughs head wrap in 2017. There you have it.
He had to have the full Godoyev at Final X this year. You could tell he hated that one.
Yeah. That one that he had in the one that he had against was that against Yazdani in the 2016? No, that wouldn't have been right.
They never wrestled.
Who beat him and who beat
Godoyev?
He went full
Godoyev in 2016.
Godoyev beat him, and then he lost to Bexod in repechage.
Okay. No, I'm talking about Godoyev didn't win the gold in 2016.
Oh, you're talking about Godoyev. Yeah. Sorry, Godoyev lost to Yazdani. You're right.
Yeah, and he went
head diaper,
bleeding like a pig in that match.
Yeah. Did you take that one? I know you were in Rio. Did you?
I didn't. I did not get that.
You didn't want to take from Russia.
But that would have been another good one. That would have been another classic head wrap in wrestling.
Yes.
John Reeder's, there's another one. Best head wraps of all time. Reeder might be number one.
He had a chin
strap. 2011?
He's had a chin strap to keep the whole thing intact.
Now that was that was awesome.
I guess that most of those end up in trashes, Shane.
Trashes.
Most of them.
Trash cans, as we call them.
Yeah.
He calls them trashes.
You throw something in the trash?
I know, but no one's ever said it like that. That's why you're one of a kind, JD.
One of a kind.
Okay. Well, we've got plenty to get to on this fine morning. JD completed his recruiting class rankings. He is a member of the Rankers Guild, board certified, and he swore an oath. But first, before that, Joel Adams, we have a Greco world champion. That is not a common sentence for American wrestling fans.
We frequently win H-level medals. I feel like every year there's one or two.
Well, we've had 3.
He killed everyone.
We've had 3 all time in at the cadet level.
Champs or medals?
Champs. We had Joel. We had Colton Schultz, and then we had someone who I'd never heard of in 1997. This is per Andy Hamilton.
I would take his word for it.
Not a lot, but yeah, he no points scored against Joel Adams.
Yeah,
pretty impressive. So I guess I listen. I tell you, I don't watch much Greco. I don't find it to be that entertaining. Was Joel Adams this dominant on the national scene? Like, did he win, say, that national title in Kilburn last year? Like, how do you do?
He won Fargo last year.
So, and was it super dominant?
I don't remember his Greco run.
I don't either.
He did double up. He won both last year.
Man.
Yeah. He was in the cadet.
He might have won a W of Greco actually.
And he was in the cadet trials finals this year for freestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he lost to Case
in 3 matches.
In 3 matches.
And that was a crazy series.
He's really good. He's just good at wrestling.
Yes.
Where's he from?
Nebraska. MWC.
Okay,
So
I read that.
I really love the. I know you guys are gonna do this. I'm not complaining, Christian, but Fargo's not on track. Or is not on track. It's on Flow Arena.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so nice, just generally too. Like when I'm recruiting, when I'm watching video on kids at Fargo, I type in their name and I type in track wrestling, and then a profile pops up, and usually I can find results from say cadet duels or something, and I can kind of see how good they are. Watch a match or two, scout them. But their Fargo results don't pop up. So I cannot wait till you guys combine the systems, and then I can just see all the things at once, because I would love to type in Joel Adams track wrestling.
We'd like to make you work for it.
You want to maybe work it out?
Yeah. I think here. Let me see if I
I'll
just
tell you. I'm finding it. I'm gonna be there in no time flat.
Yeah,
Almost there. I'm at 2021. I'm gonna search him right here. Joel Adams. Yeah, he was good. He wrestled both styles. Let me see this. Oh, he beat Tyler Kasak. I'm guessing this is the freestyle finals at 138. So let's go Greco finals 138. Let's see how he does. You want to see how he does?
Yeah.
Him and Tyler Kasich been battling for real though. Okay, Joel Adams 11-0 in the quarterfinals, 12-1 in the semifinals, 12-0 in the finals. So he kind of mauled everybody.
He's good.
Very good.
So very, very cool. Cody Merrill will be wrestling for bronze today. And that's your Greco update. Very excited for Joel.
Is Joel Adams a sophomore or junior?
Junior. He will be a junior.
Will be a junior. So he's going to go pretty high up on the big board with obviously the Greco success, but he also is pretty damn good at freestyle as well.
He'll be a good get.
Yeah. What is he on the big board currently, I wonder? These have not yet been updated. He's class of what, 24 then? 25? My gosh, these kids are so young.
Seriously.
We're getting old. This is the tough part, guys.
I'm getting younger. Deal with it.
Wow. Okay. Benjamin Dake, they call him.
On the Kyle Dake protocol.
Okay.
Listen, I scrapped with Mitchell. We wrestled for about 50 minutes yesterday. I felt really good. I was flowing. He's getting a lot better to where it's fun because it's like it's kind of competitive now. I try not to use my weight and my size.
He told me you had to use your weight to score.
But we can really wrestle. So it was so much fun. But I'm telling you, Christian, I was feeling pretty young. I was flowing through some positions. Felt good.
Midlands
Was he born, Ben,
2026.
when you were a senior at Missouri?
What's up?
Was he born the year you won your national title at Missouri?
No, wait. No, he's 19 this year, so he would have been. So when I graduated, he would have been 4. So he was born maybe my freshman year of college or something.
But you remember him being born, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, and he was just
a
little pipsqueak. Yep.
That's got to be kind of crazy, from a literal baby coaching him up.
Yeah. Joel Adams. I'm looking at his folk style results here. Oh, he mauled one of my guys. Oh man. Good old cheesehead, but he got hurt. He had the default out of the cheesehead.
He got
really?
He got bowmanned at Super 32. He was up, and then
That was a wild match.
That match was crazy. Bo got like a reversal and a turn late to win. Like he was down. He needed all those points.
Joel was so tired.
Yeah.
Bo gets
Adams.
tired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bo gets tired.
Oh.
Bo gets tired early in the matches.
Bo gets tired too, bro.
And he gets stronger as the matches go. That's the Mantanona way. They're never out of the match.
Never.
Okay, so good stuff there. And Erica Pastoriza is in the semis. Those
That happened this morning.
And the kid from there's another kid from California I think is in the bronze medal match, correct? In Greco. He's got
Cody
a crazy
Merrill.
name. No. I know Cody
Oh,
Merrill.
he's
the other
also
one.
from California. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a really wild name. He's where can I find the brackets at? He's at 71 kilograms.
Hold on.
I won't even try to say his name because it's crazy. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he won his match of repechage this morning. He was in the bronze medal. So hey, we get 3 Greco medals. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, Arvin
Yeah.
Khosravi. Yeah, I don't know
Yes.
him.
That's a crazy name, right?
That's officially crazy. Absolutely insane. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's get off Cadet Worlds.
All right. Keep it
Enough's
moving.
enough. I want to talk about.
Hey, when does freestyle start for men's freestyle for Cadet
That's why I'm
World?
trying to get off Cadet Worlds.
No, I asked you a question. That means you're obligated.
Friday.
Friday, right? Friday
There you
news
go.
dump.
Weekend fun. Okay, JD, tee up your recruiting class rankings. The people cannot wait for these. These are always often talked about and discussed and consumed. And curious for the little peek behind your process and your thoughts on.
They came out later than normal this year. Normally they're kind of more of a early summer, maybe even late springtime ordeal. But it's actually a good thing that we waited till later to do them this year, because there were two, well, not just two, but two huge shakeups that I'm thinking of that really shifted things, and a couple others like UWW juniors and Fargo and whatnot. But the big two shakeups were Chittum and no more Ferrari for Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You put Chittum in Iowa, which obviously moves them up a lot.
They I don't think that they were even gonna be in the top 20. They might have been honorable mention, low range, but you get the number one kid in the class of what was he was the number one in the class of 2023. I'll shoot you up to top 5.
Yeah, so the number 4 class for Iowa. The number 1 class, no surprise, Ohio State. Number 1, Nick Feldman. Number 3, Jesse Mendez. Number 4, Nick Bouzakis. Number 24, Luke Geog. And 34, Seth Shoemate. Geog has been really impressive.
Geog, I felt like, if you guys pay more attention than me, feel free to fill me in. I feel like I remember him a lot, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. So he's probably 8th, 9th grader having good success in cadets. And I feel like he kind of went away for a little bit, or, it wasn't as prominent. And then last year he had a really good Fargo. And then this year, I think, did he beat Manny Rojas a couple times, or Josh Barr, or like he had a really good year this year.
He killed him in the duel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It sounds like he's doing great. I mean, he's been on campus for a little bit, and sounds like the transition's been going well. I know Mike mentioned specifically Mike was there a couple weeks ago and was impressed with him where he was at already. So a lot to work with there for Ohio State. There was no one even really in their strata contending for the number 1 spot. It was
I don't feel like it.
Not really debatable. So imagine if Chittum went there. Then you're talking like all-time recruiting class.
All-time with that one Penn State all-time class that had. And that class panned out. When they had 7 of the top 20 pound for pound or something like that.
Which year was that? Not the Nolf Nickel year, right?
What year was it?
No,
I'm sorry. A lot of them didn't pan out. It was like the Gavin Teasdale, like that year.
Yeah.
What is that? 2019?
This is before that.
It had to be before then. Let's look at 2018. 2018 was their last number 1 recruiting class, it looks like. They had Brooks, Beard, RBY, Teasdale, Joe Lee, Nick Nevels, and Teskey.
Dude, that's ridiculous. So a whole bunch of those either transferred or didn't pan out.
Brooks won 2 titles. Beard's an All-American. He's gone. RBY, 2-time champ. Gavin's gone. Joe Lee, not productive. Seth Nevels. Teskey gone. So that's a good class.
I mean,
Great Edsall's in that class too.
Yeah. The number 2 class, Sammy Sasso for Ohio State, Gavin Hoffman, Quinn Kinner gone, Jade Maddox gone, Rocky Jordan gone, Malik Hanselman still there, Kevon Freeman, and Alex Felix. No productivity.
Which, I mean, that just shows you, between those 2 classes, that shows you, this is, I listen. I saw Chris Harris. I said, listen, I still don't trust you. There's no way you kept every single freaking kid at Princeton for 15 years. This is wild. But like, look at those two classes. And was it more than half of their roster either quit wrestling or transferred to another team? Like, it's freaking hard to keep all your kids in the same program.
In hindsight, Minnesota's class is way better. Gable, Brayton Lee, Ryan Thomas, Patrick McKee. That's better than Ohio State.
Gleeville was
better than Ohio State. Yeah. But not better than Penn State though.
No, but it's maybe a conversation.
Nah.
Penn State's two-time champs.
Two-timers. Yeah, two-timers, and they got an All-American on a beard, one All-American on a beard before transferred.
We're talking, but they got the go.
Yeah, but I mean, did you say McKee and Brayton Lee? I mean, they still got meat on the bone with those guys. When it's all said and done, that could be Minnesota. Although, no, probably not.
Yeah,
Never.
RBY and Brooks are going to win another one also.
Exactly.
They didn't get an Olympic gold, though.
Yeah.
Brooks could win 2 more, right?
Yeah.
Brooks could win 2 more.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good class for Minnesota, though.
Olympic gold doesn't get your team any NCAA points, unfortunately, JD.
What's that?
I said Olympic gold. He said Olympic gold, and I said that doesn't get you any team points.
Yeah.
Hey, let's can I JD, we gotta question your integrity here though.
Whoa.
I don't know how you put Iowa State. I know you're a homer. I don't know how you put Iowa State over NC State. I feel pretty strongly on this one. I look at NC State's class. I really like it a lot. They got 5 guys that are in the rankings, 3 in the top 16. And you bumped Iowa State, 3 in the top 20. They have a good class. I don't think it's as good as NC State's. Explain yourself.
Swiderski. I'm really high on Swiderski. And when you kind of nitpick, like thinking about especially these top teams, it's maybe a little different for the other teams that are looking to build depth and whatnot, but it's like NCAA points. Like, who's going to score the most NCAA points? Obviously, maybe it could end up being Singleton or Arrington or something. But Swiderski is the, I think, highest end talent of all of them.
Yeah. I don't disagree with it, honestly. I think Singleton.
You don't disagree.
I think Singleton might be the best recruit for NC State out of this class. I think he could outperform.
Yeah, so I like all 3 of these guys. I mean, as we know, right, college guys don't always pan out. But then even Hornet heavyweight is pretty solid. Like, I don't think he's great, but they do a good job. And then the Homan kid is also pretty solid. You know, I don't know if they're going to get him to start or not. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I really like this class a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Horn are they going to? How many years will he start, I wonder? Because they're not bad at heavyweight right now.
He'll probably have to sit at least 1 year behind Tyree Houghton.
Yeah.
And then he could maybe move into the lineup. I think they're also going to have lineup issues with Arrington and Solomon. They probably going to be the same weight. So you're looking to only get production out of one of those guys.
Yeah, like I didn't have time to fully listen to someone's explanation, but someone was trying to give me. It was at Fargo, and someone started telling me, and I'm like, "Hey, I gotta go. I gotta run." So it was coaching or something. But they said because of, I don't know if it's some type of academic requirements, but NC State can actually make their scholarships go a lot further. So it's almost as
that would explain why they get huge hauls every year.
Yes,
because every year they bring in so many kids.
Oh, I think they have good financial aid too.
Yeah,
they're just smart.
Yeah, they're smart. They do a good job. So that was, I thought that was, that made a lot of sense because they do seem to bring in really huge classes and their depth seems to be really good. So I mean, I guess that would be the problem keeping some of these guys out of the lineup because, like you said, with Fishback, Trumbull's still really young and he's going to be ranked relatively high, right? Going into the season, right?
Yeah. So you've got a lot of lineup.
Singleton, he might be able to make 70, but if he can't, 34? I think he probably will be. He'll run into Trent Hidley at 184 for a year. Have to sit. He won't get 4 years, but
yeah, I think that's solid justification for that ranking. Although it's undeniably close, and in 5 years we'll certainly remember this conversation and we'll revisit it, and then we'll know
maybe
for
you
sure.
can dunk all over me.
Yeah, if we
Pat Pop can just.
Yeah. Put you in a near side cradle.
Yeah.
Never let go.
Yeah, I guess it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it hinges on Swiderski then, because Gaitan's good. He's had some really good performances. Rojas is kind of the same thing. Has impressed sometimes, but then like he kind of got his butt kicked really bad by Giag. I know I watched that one match, and I want to say he got taken down like 5 times.
That's a fact.
Something like that. So that was not impressive. This Villasquela guy, I watched him. He's unranked. I watched him at the UWW Juniors. Is he a transfer in? Because I want to say his coach was speaking Spanish.
Correct.
So he's not from Gilbert, Iowa.
That's where he went to high school, but he is not originally from there. His dad coaches at the RTC there with Carr in Ames.
That's still illegal? What we're still doing this?
Ben, you dirty dog.
What do you mean?
I don't think.
Your face was so funny.
No offense to him though, but I don't even think he'll be a starter. Probably.
He was okay. I can't remember who that guy was. I watched him. He was in a dogfight, and both these dudes. It was funny. It's always funny when one dude gasses out. Was UWW Juniors on? It was on Flow Arena. Yeah, it was. When one dude gasses out, then it's kind of like usually a bloodbath, But when both dudes gas out,
then you get
hilarious.
Grajales.
you get all the things happening because they're both so exhausted. So you see this like really low level wrestling because they're both like they're not in their right minds. They're just doing dumb stuff. I'm looking this up. It was
low level.
It was very, very low level wrestling.
Fausick,
for real.
For Iowa State, he doesn't do a whole lot of national competition, but he was a 4-timer in Iowa, so he's a notable guy.
Cresco. Okay. Hey, Shane, were you in the building for Grajales Alton?
Oh, is it?
Gosh, that's a great question.
You weren't, if you don't know. You weren't.
You know what? But I remember the match. I don't remember. I should find out and see if I was there. I'm guessing I was there. But I don't remember. But I remember
you would remember the greatest college wrestling match of all time.
Yeah, it's
Jim Gibbons always had the best line about Eric Grajales.
He's tired getting off the bus.
He's tired coming off the bus. Like,
what a dunk.
It was Nathan Haas and Fernando Villasquela. It was wild. So Haas got up 7-0. He got tired first, and then Villasquela came back, and then he was winning 9-7, and then like he fully gassed out, and then Haas came back and won 13-9. It was ridiculous.
That sounds like a classic match. But no Grajales Alton. Yeah, you got to find out if you were there.
I got to find out. Yeah. Grajales, he was an All-American, I believe, his senior year. I think
he definitely placed. I don't know how many times, but he definitely placed.
I remember seeing him at the Cheesehead when Brandon came to Kekona, Wisconsin for the Cheesehead. And, man, he was a stud.
Yeah.
And he obviously stud. Wrestling Michigan in the Big Ten. You're an All-American. Obviously, he's got to be good. But whatever, that Brandon Florida team, be fun to go through that list of guys because they were, they had a handful of good guys.
And very few of them panned out.
Yeah.
Rossi Bruno, he placed, I think.
Joe Cozart, was it Joe? Was that his first name?
There was a Joe
Rocky
Cozart.
Was the original
he went to Iowa
one.
State.
There's a
handful of
Iowa State.
That was Joe.
Tyler.
Rocky went to Michigan State, right? And he didn't do nothing.
David Craig is he was from, or is that his name?
He went to Lehigh. Yep.
Yeah, but he's from Brandon.
Yep.
Then there was a Tyler Liberatore. He actually beat Alex Deringer at the Cheesehead, if I remember right, one year.
Oh.
Deringer only had a few losses. He was one of them.
Dang.
And I don't know if he went to he went someplace. I don't remember. Where he went someplace, obviously, but I don't think he panned out. But man, it's hard.
Ross Patton says Villasquela's dad is the interpreter for the Cuban at Iowa State.
Put the interpreters on salary too. I don't see why not.
Why not?
That's what I said.
That's an important job.
They said dads couldn't be RTC coaches, but did they say they couldn't be RTC interpreters?
Aha! Loophole! Okay, so Iowa State 2, NC State 3, the Iowa Hawkeyes from the unranked probably to number 4 because they have Cody Chittum, Aiden Riggins, and Colby Franklin.
Hey, let me ask you this, guys, because obviously with this, the big board rankings that are on the side of the recruiting rankings, those would have changed significantly because this is pre-UWW juniors. So we had some pretty big competitions. We had UWW juniors. We had the junior duels, which has a lot of great competitors, and we had the junior nationals. So we've seen a lot of these guys compete. Would a guy like Bradley Hill, would he have done enough to move up into like a ranked guy?
That would be a question for Bray. I am not as familiar with, your 70 plus, 70 to 100 plus guys. That would be a better question for Bray. I will say
he beat Colby Franklin, who you guys have at 48,
right,
correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. And like Mitchell Messenbrink would probably move up a little bit considering Levi Haynes is number 9 and he's 18.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, shout out, Cal Bapkitson. Thanks to
Baptist,
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Nice.
And thanks to you, Ben.
I guess I was kind of deep. I don't know how many of these guys are going to see the lineup. Riggins, obviously, likely will, and Chittum also. But, even Franklin and Bradley Hill, who I think are probably the next couple. Obviously, one of them's not going to see the lineup at all because you'll have only one starter there, and then you have Ben Keeter coming in next year, and I'm sure we're going to count him highly. And I don't
assuming
think beat him.
He's still trying to do the whole football wrestling.
Assuming he actually wrestles.
They always, no one ever really does
Hokett.
this.
He's the only one.
Hokett, yeah.
Ooh, Hokett.
All-American. And was really good at football, too.
Dang. He was like getting carries.
So he ruins it for everybody because
it is true, but there is an exception.
You have to be that exceptional athlete to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if
Which Keeter is very good.
Yeah. If Riggins can't consistently make 57, then that takes kind of a lot of points off the board.
Yeah.
Because either you pull Patrick Kennedy to the lineup or he's on the bench.
Yeah.
And what do we think Keeter's a 97 or
heavy?
Heavy for sure, right?
He'll probably be a heavy, which means either Franklin or Hill will be on the bench because only one of them can go 97. Yeah. If they even can. Bradley Hill might not be able to.
Mm-hmm. So Iowa football is no joke. Like they're gonna.
Yeah. They say they got the best defense. I think this is Ferentz's 24th year. Say this is his best defense he's had. So we'll see.
Big Ten Shane coming in with the Hawkeye report.
I gotta think.
How's that secondary looking?
He'll probably be a tight end too, and I was basically tight end U.
Tight end U is Iowa, yeah.
Is it? I thought they were more known for offensive line.
Dallas Clark. Dallas Clark is one. George Kittle, kid at Detroit right now. Is it Hawkinson? Is that his name? I mean, they've had some hammers come out of that.
Dude, I don't know.
Hey, JD, I also, let's go back to the rings. Number 5, Stanford. Now, listen, I do like Hunter Garvin. I think he's really good. But when I see number 5, Stanford, next to, I think number 6, Navy is a lot deeper. I don't really love Rutgers class, actually, at number 7. But then number 8, I really actually like Virginia's class. I think it'd be easy to justify those two over So
Stanford. Here's where you got to weigh depth versus high-end potential points once again. I'm also very high on Cardenas. I think the issue is going to be hopefully one can go 49, one can go 57. I think Cardenas is a little bigger, so he could go 57. But to me, those are two multiple-time AA, high AA guys, if not contending for titles at the end of the career.
Did Cardenas wrestle in anything this offseason? Because I don't really remember seeing him too much.
No, he hasn't wrestled since, let me look, it has been a while, though.
I remember him last offseason, 2 ago. And then I remember him, when he was younger.
Yeah.
I just don't remember him.
I don't think he's wrestled since he won Colorado State title. He beat Nico Ruiz at Doc B this year.
Okay.
He beat him twice. Actually beat him at Reno too. He beat Richard Fedlin at Ironman, won an Ironman title.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's kind of come on this past year.
Yeah. All right.
Notched a win over Ferrari at Spartan Duels.
Yeah, I don't mind when you go high end over depth to a point.
And Dara's not in the rankings, but he's really solid as well.
Yeah, he just won. Didn't he just win Greco Fargo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's solid. Yeah, I just like. I mean, I guess if we'll go to number 6, Navy. Like, they have 5 guys in the top 100. They're pretty good. And even like, I don't know what I remember watching this other kid right here, Jake Niffenegger.
We were talking about him before the show.
I think he was.
I remember watching him. He was so good 2 years ago. I don't know how.
I think he was in the big board. Yeah, he must have taken a couple losses. I'm not exactly sure on him, but he's really good. Cole Jesse from Pennsylvania isn't bad either.
Yeah, good. Navy's just gonna get a ton of utility about from this haul, and they're high level as is. I think it is a great class.
Yeah,
it could definitely go ahead of Stanford, honestly, because their number 1 is not that far behind their, number 1 ranked guy, Garvin, and ahead of their number 2. So it's definitely close.
The thing was for me, I'm just slightly higher on both Garvin and Cardenas than I am on their highest guy, Wask.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you do bring up a point. So some people do say only March matters, and it's literally all about how many points they score. But it's like, to me, it's also like, if say 4 or 5 of these guys are in their starting lineup for 3 or 4 years, because Navy's not that good yet, and they're getting a whole bunch of dual wins and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And then maybe if Navy wins the EIWA or something, like that's kind of a big deal for Navy. And so I feel like that counts for a lot.
That's kind of why you have to wait. We had a whole thing yesterday
I
in
was
the office.
wild yesterday. Shane, I wish you were there. Spay had me going. He had me all kinds of fired up. I was going to war for this Navy recruiting class ranking.
Oh,
I won't even tell you the team I had to argue Navy had a better recruiting class ranking than that.
Well, just tell us. We want to hear this. That's literally what this podcast is about.
I had to argue with not just Spay, but JD for a little bit.
I played antagonist.
I don't know about that. I had to argue that
I made these rankings, and I put Navy in the top 10.
Because of my mentorship and influence. They were debating Penn State's class versus Navy's class, and they both thought Penn State should be hired just because they had Levi Haynes.
Penn State's only hold on.
They got one other guy.
Penn State always Levi Haynes, and the other guy's not that great.
Yeah, I don't think
how did you put? But so JD was arguing Penn State above Navy at 6, and you guys ended up not putting Penn State in the top 20.
I was playing antagonist.
It was a debate. It was a question.
Because you got to look at it like this: would Penn State rather get one Levi Haynes, or would they rather have Navy's class guys who might not, even maybe like a Danny Wask might make the lineup, but who knows with the other guys? But you get a lot of depth there. But they're looking at a guy in Levi Haynes who could come in at 157 and be an immediate impact player. That's what they want. But obviously, this is what Navy wants.
Navy, yeah, exactly. The team's preference is like irrelevant to the ranking. Like Navy would absolutely prefer their class to Penn State's, right? So,
I think so. That makes it very relevant.
I just think the utility that they'll get out of it, and just this many ranked guys versus, it's not like Levi is the number 1 overall. He's 9th ranked guy. He just lost to number 18.
But the question is, do you think Penn State would trade their class for this?
I don't care.
That's a good no. I mean
that's a valid question.
It's a valid question.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Not for the. It's a valid question.
But you can't go off recruiting
question. But it doesn't. It would that the answer has no bearing on the ranking.
I agree with that point. So, but then flip the script and say, would Navy trade their class for Penn State's? And I think the answer to that is an obvious no. There's no
Correct.
way. Yeah, it's impossible.
So it's good class. Not maybe a good class. It's not a good class by Penn State standards, but it's not a terrible class for either one.
The other, but the other way it is interesting because it's like if you're Kale, can you coach one of these dudes up to be better than Levi Haynes potentially. Yeah, I feel like, dude, you got 10 bullets in the chamber. Yeah, you should be able to.
And that's
do
why
that. Like Wask is pretty damn good already, you know.
And that's why
Talmadge is pretty good.
even at Penn State, you need a couple guys. You can't be putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, look at that class I just read.
They actually kind of do put a lot of eggs in the basket.
But not one. It's literally Levi
Not one.
Haynes and one other guy,
Sure.
which means
That's fair.
Levi gets hurt. You're basically probably getting like 0 points and maybe even
Yeah,
zero
but guys,
starters
you guys are forgetting
from that
too
class.
the transfer portal. I mean, the whole thing is changed.
No, but we're talking about this recruiting
Just
class.
recruiting class rankings. These recruiting class rankings don't include transfers in this class or anything like that.
But that's what I'm
JUCO
saying. Where it's
guys.
like, oh, if something happens to somebody, you can get a quick fix. Heck, guys, you can add somebody at the semester. I mean,
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is why these are becoming less important than they
Yeah.
were 2 decades ago, where it's like, these
Sure.
are your guys. There's
Yeah.
so many other variables now, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Talmadge because it doesn't look like he wrestles a lot of freestyle, but he does have some pretty good folk style results. And then obviously the Stanich.
New Jersey
'cause
State champ, I think.
Yeah, I looked
at
up
least
Stanich.
finalist.
You know, Stanich was the one that probably should have beat Mason Gibson, and so I had never really heard of him, so I started looking him up, and then I noticed that he had lost to Evan Talmadge, and so that win probably looks a lot better for him. For
Yes.
Talmadge.
Yep. Definitely does. So great.
and the one
class.
thing with Navy too, guys, is you look at the talent they have, and then you add the academic stress. I mean, Colat's the man. I think everybody on the call agrees with that.
Oh yeah, big time.
Man,
No bigger Kerry Colat fan than Tracy Piles. He thinks he's the coolest guy ever. He was telling my mom about it. He's like, you don't know what this guy went through. It was so funny.
Did he watch the film or something?
He watched the film, and he's just like, he just went through it, and just the way what they did to him was just so disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, he's the man. And they had 2 big borders last year, so 7 big borders in 2 years is pretty fantastic. I would like to say that's probably never happened for Navy ever in their history.
Never.
I mean, let me ask you guys a crazy question with Navy. Maybe it's not crazy. Under Colat's on Colat's watch, do they ever take home a trophy?
No.
I just don't think so.
God, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't bet against him. I think
Now-
he is so darn good.
I would love
I mean,
it.
he's
get
gonna have
a
a lot of
get a chance.
opportunities too.
Get a champ,
be the-
maybe put together a 3AA, 4AA
Yeah.
tournament.
If you
but
said
a
top
trophy?
10, I would have voted differently. If you said
Okay,
top 10.
top 10. I put
say-
my
yeah.
right arm on that bet.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think
bet
Kerry
you.
Colat is so good. I mean, when I think of, if there is a Colat video, and I know there was like a question on this for Ben later on, it could be 20 minutes long, and I could be like, okay, I'm going to watch it for 2 minutes. And the next thing I look at the clock, it's at 19:48. Like I watched the whole thing. I could listen to him talk forever. He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's great. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Moving along here.
Moving along.
Navy.
I like Virginia's class. I don't know. I don't really love Rutgers' class. I told you I am.
Explain.
He's not big
Well,
on
I told
Soldano.
you yesterday the gimmick. We had a few other gimmick wrestlers, and Dom Demas, big gimmick wrestler. People were tweeting. I remember the Dom Demas one. I don't remember. There's a few others' names.
Where did he go again, guys? Demas.
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
But
love
yeah,
transfers.
Soldano, like he's got a lot of tricky things. Maybe it continues to work. Maybe it doesn't. Not sure. PJ Castle. I remember watching him, and so I kind of hate being critical of high school kids.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them. Like, listen, I'm not judging them as a person. I'm just judging what I saw from wrestling. That's it, right? So like Castle, I felt like he was physically dominant over the opposition. Like he was just a more physical, strong kid. And those advantages generally go away as they get older. And so, obviously he can still develop wrestling skills, but I feel like some college coaches overweight. Like when the kids are physical, they're like, oh, he's such an athlete. I could do this or do that with him. And sometimes those kids are just so reliant on
You'd
that
rather have skill.
superior athletic ability.
Yeah.
So that was and I don't know the Chelestos that much. I can't say much about him, but then when you look down the guys under the rankings, I've mentioned guys in other recruiting classes. I'm like, oh, this guy's really good. And he's not in the rankings. I don't really feel that way about any of these guys. Maybe you guys can tell me I'm wrong.
Sebastiano Nini's okay. I like him. I think Gayer isn't bad either. Calvary Chapel's really good high school. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Soldano, how many gimmick wrestlers have we seen at the upper weights? Think about that.
Bo Nickel, he's a gimmick wrestler.
Oh my gosh.
He's just got so many gimmicks they can't stop them all.
He just has so many. Yeah. He actually doesn't have that many. Oh, I guess he does. He'll spladle you.
Oh, he could do. Bo Nickel could do a lot of.
He had the Dylan Ness. Miles
he could do
Martin
all of the tricky things.
Shane does not like Bo Nickel though.
What? Shane doesn't like Bo Nickel?
Come on, Ben. He loves Bo Nickel. He's obsessed.
He might be my favorite in 20 years or in the
know.
last 20 years in the Big Ten. I'd probably say he's the
Really?
for whatever.
talks about
Bo Nichols, Bo Nichols wowed me the most. Bo Nichols made me go whoa, like more than anybody else because it's like you never know what's going to come. He's fearless. He's entertaining. I mean, I love me some Bo Nickel. And Ben, we all agree on this that the bus left a year ago. Bo Nickel he'll be one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT in MMA when it's all set.
Wow. Well, actually, I've never heard anyone make that prediction before. I mean, I'm
making it right now.
I'm figuring he's going to have a lot of success, obviously.
Yep.
But
I think Bo Nickel, I just think he's got it all. We'll see.
If this was pre-Ed Ruth, I would maybe agree with you, Shane, but I need to see it first.
Yeah.
I mean, we
If
thought Ed Ruth
Nickel
was
in
going to be
his
the real
prime
deal,
wrestled
too.
Ruth in his prime, I think Nickel wins.
Ooh, that would have been a fun match to watch. That would
Yeah,
be
it
so
would
much
be.
fun.
How great would that be?
That would be a lot of fun.
Match. We've talked about that one before.
Yeah. Hey JD, tell us about Virginia's class at number. I feel like you should have bumped this one up because you love anyone who's from like Western Iowa, Eastern Nebraska, and they got a lot of them in this class. So I figured you just bumped them up to like.
Yeah, they did. I don't know where the Nebraska and Iowa.
Paulsons.
Well, you're right. I was just about
Paulsons.
to say.
Yeah,
Yep.
And Paulsons are
They're
from
Council Bluffs.
Yeah.
Council Bluffs,
right in the middle there.
Yep. So that's where they get a lot of the Omaha kids and Western Iowa kids, and I really do like Garrett Grice, not just because he's from the Omaha
I was gonna say he had
area.
really good results at but he didn't wrestle at UWW juniors, but he wrestled at the Open. I want to say he had really good results. Let's see. So yeah, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He beat Nico Provo. That's a good one. He lost 7-6 to Buzakis, and he beats Richard Trainer and Emilio Yazgiri. So I think he takes third place,
Isagiri.
right? What are you guys laughing at my pronunciation?
Isagara.
Isagiri. I was way off.
I know. It's not an easy.
It's a tough one.
I don't think it's easy at all. It's just fun. It was funny to hear your attempt. I think it was better than my first attempt.
Also, they got these 5 big boarders and then a whole bunch of other guys.
Yeah. Not only one Virginia.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't like that.
And
Yeah,
I
Grice
don't know
took
much
third
about
in
some of
this
these other
bracket.
guys. Obviously, I know Griffin Gamble. He'll be all right, but
They need to book him up and turn him into Gannon Grimmel. That's the
that is the move. Get an AA.
Yeah. Okay. And then Wyoming, really, number 9 with 4 big boarders, but Jory Volk.
They got the bump for Volk making the junior world team.
Yeah.
Taking out
But
Spratley.
Volk would have been bumped way higher because Spratley. So I mean, Spratley's number 6, and so these rankings were not updated post.
It was what tournament did Spratley do really well at?
Well, he did great at the Open.
UWW. So there's you did yeah.
These came out after the Open.
Yeah.
Correct.
So he balled out at
not-
the Open.
Yeah. Yes. But not after the trials.
Well, they went to 3 matches.
It was a very competitive series. They're very close.
But Volk balled out.
Volk,
at the
Volk
trials.
he went nuts. So they
Well,
both
because
had really
Volk-
impressive.
Did he not place because he got hurt? Yeah. So he didn't even place at. He beat Richie Figs and then, or maybe he took 6. He did the semi slide. So I type in their name and he got injured in that Figueroa match and didn't wrestle against Andre Gonzalez or the other matches.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, big bump for Wyoming, who adds 4 big boarders, and a good contingent out of Baylor, Tennessee, getting David
2 of
Harper
them.
and Garrison Dindy. So yeah, and Branch can turn those under the radar guys into really competitive dudes. So
Speaking about Isagiri, one spot ahead of Minnesota, Arizona State. Decent haul with Siguri, Kilich, and Larkin. But nugget here, they got Damian Shunky, which he's not, I think he'll be whatever, he'll probably be a backup. But his brother is currently number 4 on the class of 2024 big board. And would
He's
be
a
an excellent
gigantic
replacement.
heavyweight, correct?
Would be an excellent replacement for Colton Schultz. So stay woke.
Stay woke.
okay, yeah, it's smart. Get the less good big brother, and it'll pay off down the line. Okay. Do we want to finish this out? Let's finish the top 10 because we got another Virginia squad in there. The Virginia Tech Hokies coming at number 10, 731 and 69. Could see this being a little bit higher, especially with a number 7 overall, and then 2 other big boarders.
Yeah, that is true. I think TJ Stewart needs to get to the right weight to really be effective at college. He's a guy who's been competing at 220. He definitely can't go heavyweight in college, I don't think. He's not that much taller than me, which is saying something.
JD is short.
It is true. He competed at 182 just a year ago. If they can get him down healthily to 184 and he can stay disciplined, I think then TJ Stewart can be very effective. The talent is there. I think he just kind of needs to be guided into the right diet and discipline and everything, and then he could be good in college.
Yeah, I know. Last year, when talking to coaches, like, where do you see him? They're like, it was like not even a question. Like, oh, he's an 84 for sure. Like, no doubt he's an 84. But then he's been up. He missed weight at who's number 1, and then which was 82 or whatever. Actually, maybe with an allowance even.
There's definitely an allowance.
Didn't even come close to making it. And then he was up at 220 a lot of the season. So it'll be interesting what weight he ends up settling at.
And maybe, the hell do I know? Maybe he will be effective at 197.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly possible. And kid's great.
But obviously, I mean, I'll say it, right? The results and the behaviors he's had this year lead you to question whether he's going to make it to the next level.
For sure. I like that he's going to
one
Virginia
big
Tech.
one
I know
is
that.
Missing weight, that's like, shows lack of discipline. And then the other one that people is injury defaulting out of tournaments. Like, that's another one. It's like I know I just looked it up because I'm on UW Juniors, but he got beat up by this Gabe Solers, who I don't know. He got beat, and then he just defaulted out at UW Juniors.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good look.
No, I don't.
I'll look up
disagree.
Gabe Solers and I'll tell you how good he is.
The talent is definitely there for him. Multiple-time Fargo champ. Won Ironman this year at 215. Beat Dayton Pitzer at PWC, who I'm pretty high on. That was at 222. So
Gabe Solers looks like a pretty solid high school wrestler, but he did get hammered by Stephen Little at the Modern Day High School Classic this year. Stephen Little going to Little Rock. Pretty tough guy.
Yeah.
Stephen Little Rock, they call him.
Which Little Rock? Get racked up because they're in here. Number 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very good class, bolstered by the performance of Kyle Dutton, the Fargo OW, and a very, very strong, probably got to be the best class Little Rock's brought in.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I almost feel like you guys could argue them going a little higher.
Look at
Little
Rock. 19, though. You've got 27, 52, and 95.
What? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you could argue them going higher too, because Land has had, Land was what, freestyle runner up? No, he won. He beat
132.
Oh,
he won, and then Volker took third, right?
Yep. And I think both, I was not sold on Land as a folk style prospect. I thought he would be good, but I wasn't sure if he was going to be a, All-American NCAA qualifier type. But after his Fargo performance, I am. Because, he was winning all these Greco things. He was doing good in freestyle and folk as well, but it was like.
Yeah. So I think all these classes from like even maybe 13 on, like I feel like they're highly arguable, and it's like very dependent on how you feel about them, because you could say like I think Corey Land has really high All-American potential, and I think the same thing about Wyatt Volker, right? And then you could argue them above number 12 Missouri, right? Because unfortunately I don't think Zeke Seltzer did that great at Fargo, and then Whiting's had success.
Oof.
He might have injury defaulted. But he was also up at 138, and I think he's more of a 132. He'd been competing the whole season at 132.
Make your weight, bro. Be professional. What did you think about JD's bold choice to make Cal Baptist with one big boarder, number 18?
I mean, well, obviously I would feel differently if it wasn't a guy I know a lot, right? Because we're talking about put eggs in the basket. So I mean, it's essentially you're putting, despite the ranking of 18 and then Levi Haynes being 9, you're putting Cal Baptist above Penn State because because Mitchell beat Levi Haynes twice last month.
They also backlogged it with, 8 other guys?
Yeah.
And those guys, I'd be lying if I said I had watched a bunch of them. I said that in the copy as much, but looking up their credentials, they're all California placers. And then the Washington guy, an HSCA placer, Fargo placer, Washington State champ. So for Cal Baptist, they're going to get a lot of utility out of those guys. And getting a guy like Messenbrink for Cal Baptist is huge. And I think Messenbrink is pretty much as sure thing as anybody, on the big board on this list.
Yeah.
Just took out Haynes. So
I mean, the other thing is like for the, one of the big things that it takes people is like, are they going to party? Like, are they going to go to school? And like, he doesn't party and he doesn't well in school. So I can tell you, I'm like,
and unfortunately for everybody else, I know we talk about him a lot. I know he's a good kid who wants to be really good at wrestling. So
he grows his hair like Ben. That's a good sign.
No, he cut it all off, I think.
He did? Oh, he's
not all of it,
rebel.
like the high majority of it. He just cut it. Yeah, cut it all.
All right.
So I mean, there's not those concerns for me. Whereas I don't know. I don't know that for, well, not to pick on the Jersey guys, but like the kids in the Rutgers class. I don't know if they're going to party out. I don't know. I don't know them. I don't know what they're like. Or Wisconsin. People in Wisconsin like to party. So are these kids? I don't know these kids that well. They might party out. I don't know.
Party on, Garth. Sort of an aside, but a lot of people really liked Aiden Sinclair on the show yesterday. A lot of positive feedback. Everyone thinks he's a very funny, cool kid.
Guys, I got to give you a Sinclair story real quick.
Let's go.
You took his head
back in the day when I ran Badger State Wrestling, I edited all these videos, and I think it's safe to say I probably knew as much about Wisconsin high school wrestling as anybody because I edited hundreds and hundreds of matches. I knew everybody. And it's not the case anymore. I really don't know many of these guys, even the highly ranked guys. I really don't know them. So I'm doing the broadcast of the state tournament this last, March. And I've always said when it comes to Division I guys, they should pop. They should just pop. I mean, you should take somebody that barely knows wrestling, and I might exaggerate a little bit, but you take them there and it's like, which one of these kids Division I, and they should be able to just nail, like, bam, that guy. I had never heard of Aiden St. Clair. After the first night of the state tournament, somebody's like, who stood out to you? I go, I've never seen him before, and I never heard of him. And I just showed up there. I said, that kid from Milton, St. Clair, blew my, like, just popped off.
That's you're saying this year? Like
this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the blonde hair.
Sure enough. I mean, he's fantastic.
Cool. Right here.
I never heard of him until the Wisconsin State tournament. I remember calling Scott Cleaver up. I'm like, who's that kid from Milton? And obviously that kid pops. I mean, he pops off the screen, Sinclair.
He's
Stud.
good. You should go
He's
back.
a Big Ten guy to me. He's a Big Ten guy.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Shane's funneling.
Funneling them to the Big Ten Network.
Yeah,
He's good.
NIL deal.
Hey, he's someone that he'll give you a good interview after. He's not going to say give you 2 words and say, "Oh,
See, good interview. Good interview.
oh yeah." You got to go back
Oh,
and
he
listen
said
to
he went-
yesterday's show.
He wanted
Okay.
to do a cooking class or something.
He
I
did
never
a book
talk about
report.
cooking in his life.
Oh,
my
he's
goodness.
hilarious. He's a gem, absolute gem.
And then he's a conspiracy theorist that his grandparents cut his guitar strings because he was playing too much.
That's so funny.
Because I mean,
Oh,
he's
that
only
was
going to be a junior, right?
To be fair, I don't know how much he was practicing because he thought the guitar only had 5 strings. So I can't. I don't know how into it he possibly could have been.
Seriously.
Yeah, only a junior. He's gonna have his pick of the litter. Wonder where he'll be on the next shakeup of big boards.
Wisconsin's
David
got a
Bricos.
hell of a class of 2024 because in addition to Mirasola, Sinclair, we got Coy Hopke also. So you know, those 4 are going to be 4 probably in the top, I don't know, 20 to 25, I would say, maybe higher. I don't know.
How many of those are they? All your guys?
Yeah. No, not Hopke. Hopke's from way up north there. Hey, but then we have
Amory.
what?
Amory.
Emory. It's way far.
Oh, who's he
It's so
wrestling
far.
with there? How would he get so darn good?
I believe he goes to Pinnacle, I think.
Oh
I don't think
there
he's that
in
far from
Minnesota.
But yeah, then we got Charlie Millard and we have Jake Stoffel, All-American, and the sophomore class of 2024 is really, really good.
Heck yeah.
Wisconsin
Exciting
have they ever won like a junior freestyle title at
I
duels?
don't think so. So Scott Cleaver, big shout out. I know that's a kind of guy right there for you, Shane.
Oh,
He
yeah.
told me the only teams in the last 2 years, only 2, to go top
Yep,
5
top 5.
at Fargo in both cadets and junior freestyle is Wisconsin and Pennsylvania.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a really good crop for Wisconsin. I'm thinking back about Mike Derone was the coach, so it might be.
Yeah, a long time.
Man, it might be close to 10 years ago when they won Greco. I think they won the junior Greco title. That's when they had like Filkey and Deringer and Devin Peterson, and that team was stacked. I mean, Niko Bogajevich, who's wrestling in the WWE, remember him? He was that heavyweight. I mean, that was a damn Alex Polizzi wrestled at Northwestern. That team was freaking fantastic. That was a great group.
Yes, for real.
Go Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
Okay, want to get to some questions here?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Can we do this one first? Up here, speaking of recruiting class. rankings.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Which recruiting class do you think will have more success? The 2022 Buckeyes or the 2023 Iowa Hawkeyes?
Assuming Keeter wrestles, but we can't assume that. So we will not assume. That's part of our guess. Will he wrestle? Will he be productive?
Where's the Hawkeyes whole class? Do we have? Can I click on that real fast?
Could you just I know Jessaroga's in there, Keeter's in there, Ryder Block. I think those are the main.
Gabe Arnold.
Oh, Gabe Arnold.
Man, Gabe Arnold's been scaring me lately.
He scares me.
Missing weight, doesn't wrestle and wrestle back.
Defaults out,
wrestling a lot of things. So that's kind of sketchy. Keeter, I think, is probably 50-50. If he's really good at football, man, they're probably going to convince him to play football.
Yeah.
And then Jezaroga, obviously I think he's really good. Is he going to start over Ayala? Because they'll cross over by at least a couple years, I would think. Yeah. So, I would say Buckeyes, but I mean, Ryder Block had a really impressive Fargo also. He's really good.
I just feel like when the dust settles at 285 and we get this second run,
Feldman
is going to be so good. I mean, Feldman alone could be the difference maker in the class. Not to mention, you got freaking Jesse Mendez, Nick Bouzakis, and Geog. The weight synergy for those guys is really good. Like there's no questions where they're going to fit in like Jessaroga, even though Drake could move up, Shriver could move up, and make room for Jessaroga, who I think looks like a 25 long hauler, at least for a little bit.
Yes.
If neither Jesse or Nick can successfully move up to 141, that'll be an issue.
Yeah.
Man, I have a hard time seeing like.
Right?
I
Like,
mean,
you can't put on weight.
There's no way you can't put. Maybe it takes you a year, but surely you could put on 8 pounds. Like, come on.
That's what I think, too. Apparently, Jesse's been trying and is really struggling.
Just hang out with Bo Jordan. Look at that dude.
Yeah.
He'll get you 4 pounds on those biceps. Quick.
Well, I mean, like, listen. So, okay, so let's talk about this. So, when you're like in season walking around, you don't really want to be that much above your weight class,
Right.
Because you're doing 1 hour weigh-ins all the time, and it becomes really, really difficult. Okay, so if you're 133, let's say you're walking around normally 137 to 140, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to be a solid 141, you're probably 140. We'll say 147, 146 to 149. Like, that's not that much weight to gain. And then if you're trying your butt off and you can't gain that much weight, bro, then you should be able to cut a little bit of weight. And if you're 125, you could be, 132 to 135. Like, there's got to be a way to go either up or down. There's no way someone's body is so stuck in one size. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd make him live with Nick Feldman, and you just have to eat whatever he eats.
Yeah, like a guy like Matt. I mean, Matt Pell's a great example, right? So Matt Pell came in at 157, wrestled the whole year, and then the next year he realizes, Kenny Burleson All-American at 57, Tyron Wood All-American at 65, me at 74, and so he bumped up to 84. He could never get big enough. He looked big, but he could never get big enough. He was like he literally weighed like 183, so he never even got above the 184 weight class. But then when Tyron graduates, it was relatively easy for him to go all the way back down to 65.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then his senior year, he actually grew. And so then 65 became semi-difficult. But, and I was at 74. So that maybe was a little bit hard for him his senior year. But, like, he went 84 and was fine. And then came down to 65 and was, had a really good year. So, yeah, I mean, and even his senior year when the weight cut was tough, he took third at nationals. So
Where has Matt Pell these days been? What's he doing?
middle of Pennsylvania. He's, I believe he's a lumberjack now or something.
Oh my gosh.
He came. Yeah, he came to. I had a Missouri reunion last year. We had 22 guys come, and he came. And it was. I don't think he's coming this year, but maybe next year we'll get him.
You're doing that again?
Yeah, I think Bader's coming.
Are you stealing Bader once more?
Yes, we are. It's over Labor Day weekend, so I don't think you guys have anything going on.
Sweet. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm saying Buckeyes class right now.
I'll
I
say
think that's
Buckeyes.
a safer bet.
I think it's much. Yes.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
the safe bet.
Okay.
Block Chittum weight could be an issue as well.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so?
If Block continues
Block
to grow,
wrestled 38, didn't he?
yeah, and if he's got another year to grow, like Chittum sees himself as a 49, taking over after Mirren. If Block goes up one more weight,
Yeah.
like that's not that
And
weird.
if Block's a 41, then what does that mean for Shriver?
Or what does that mean for Ratchy? Someone's gonna be sitting on the bench.
Yeah, Ratchy, or someone's got to go up to 57. I don't know.
Yeah.
They have a lot of
Hey,
time
I
to
want to
figure it
answer AZ Wrestling fan right away. Mike Jarman 119. Can we answer him?
Yeah, go for it.
'Cause I feel like he's totally out of context here with this question. He's out of pocket.
Yeah.
The book
So put it
Outliers.
back in the
so
pocket.
I'll read the question because he is factual here. In the book Outliers, it says pro hockey players 40% were born in January through March, 30% April through June, 20% July through September, and only 10% October through December. Ben likes to bash kids being held back, but maybe the elite don't need it. But why not give yourself the opportunity? So the whole hockey player, the birth distribution of that was the fact that they go by birth years, right? So actually, like Aiden Sinclair is actually really old, so he's a January 6th, so he's kind of as old as it gets for a cadet. And now actually, funny, Mirror Soul Brothers, they're 2 days away from being cadets still. That's kind of scary. They won junior or 1-on-1 juniors. He's 2 days away from being a cadet, December 30th. But the problem is with this is they pick those teams at a very young age, almost like 8, 9, or 10, something to that effect. And so an 11-month span when you're 8 years old is a lot of time. And so they're seeing these kids and they're picking the best ones, but some of them have 8, 9, 10, 11-month advantages over the other ones. And then they're taking those kids and they're giving them all this extra attention because they're the best at that age group, right? Whereas like in wrestling, and especially at our academies, we give everyone attention, even if they're not developing as fast. We still give them attention, and so there's no like, oh, you're 9 years old, you're not good enough, you're out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what these national hockey teams are doing. Oh, you're 10 years old, you're not good enough, you're out, and we're not doing that. So I don't really see an equivalency here.
And also, it's to me that just shines a light that and that was like it was like some Canadian system. I think it's like that just says to me they're leaving a lot of talent on the bone with their system.
Yes.
Like you're
100%.
Really all these kids born in the back half of the year aren't as good, don't have the same potential for greatness. It doesn't even make sense to get these kids on a track for whatever. So I don't think it's the best example.
And the other thing here, Christian, and I'll tell you, I'm not against the holdback system if it's so. I think that there's two correct ages for eighth graders, and that's your second year schoolboy, 14U, or you're a first year cadet. And when kids are super young, so like I have a kid he's done with eighth grade and he was 13. I believe he's holding back. He's not going to be 14 until I think it's like August 29 or something, right? So he would literally go to college and be 17 years old, where some of these other dudes are going to college and they're 19 or 20. So it's like, hey, maybe you should consider holding back because then at least you're going to be 18 when you graduate high school, right? Yeah. You're not going to be 19, you're not going to be 20, but at least you'll be 18. You're not going to be 17. I mean, literally, he would be 2 years, maybe 2 years plus behind some of these kids who would be in a similar grade who he's being compared to. So I wouldn't be against a holdback like that. But if someone's a normal age, or even potentially slightly on the older side, to hold them back again, freaking stupid.
Yeah.
Do you think, just taking it back to the hockey kind of versus wrestling thing, like anything has to do with it being a team sport and the fact that they're picking these teams? So like if you're not the best kid, you're not getting on this team that goes and does all this stuff. Whereas wrestling, it's individual. So it's like we don't really have that kind of that traveling team system.
Yeah. I mean, that is a big part of it, and obviously, but that the Christian said this already. It's very short-sighted of those coaches because clearly, you're not picking from the broadest spectrum, right? You're taking a singular point in time and saying, okay, this is the group I'm going to work with. But one kid who's a January birthday is going to have a gigantic advantage over a kid who's a November birthday. It's 10 months, and when you're 8 or 9 or 10 months, I mean. Right? When you have kids, JD, you'll see it. My kids in 10 months, I mean, literally, Ozzy, the other day I came home from Fargo. I'm like, dude, like, are you growing? Like, what the hell's going on? I went and measured him. This mug grew like over an inch in 1 month. Like,
oh my gosh.
When you're young, like 10 months is like, holy crap. It's so much different.
Does he like only eat mayonnaise or something? I could see him just being something like that. Like,
no, his ass eats
like
fruit snacks too much. I tell him, listen, you're going to have tiny muscles. You keep eating all those damn fruit snacks.
Oh, really?
Can I have another one? No, you already ate too many fruit snacks.
Gushers, those are good. Gushers.
Oh my gosh, Gushers.
We don't have those yet. Those are like crack.
Well, you could also look at it that like these coaches, maybe I don't know how the hockey system works or what this study involved, but maybe these 8, 9, 10 national teams, it's individual coaches who don't have to worry about what these kids go on to do after. Their best job is to put out this best.
But it's not the best
8-year-old
team.
But it would be for them because those are the best kids at the time, and then they don't worry about them in a year or two. Whereas now, well, I mean, these wrestlers, I'm like, well, I'm trying to get them good in 4 years.
Yeah.
But
okay, so that's a fair comment. But then if you're the person, right, at some point there's a person who's saying, I'm in charge of all of this, like who's in charge of Canada.
You would think so. I'm
hockey.
saying I don't know if they have that or not. So maybe
well, I'm sure they do, right? There's and then that person's job should be to say, hey, maybe we'll leave
get all these kids good
here, and let's figure out how to make this better and figure out how to give more opportunities so that as they develop into 12, 13, 14-year-olds, we start dividing them more, right? Something to that effect. I even think about it I think about this a lot for AWA is like, in the very beginning, we just coached who we had, and we made a whole bunch of kids who sucked really good because that was the only kids we had. And now, obviously, with like our 7th, 8th grade groups, we kind of have a whole bunch of skilled guys. So then I think about, okay, well, we're obviously going to give these guys attention. They love it. They're pretty good at this point. But how do we not forget about the next group behind them and the next group behind them? Like, how do we give those guys love also? And I think we're coming up with a pretty good solution because, like Nathan. So you're not gonna know these names, right? But Nathan Smith never placed at U State. He wrestled Division I. Jacob Roshka never won U State. Like he, got a scholarship Division I. Like we had all these kids who weren't any good, who became really good because they got a lot of attention and coaching. So how do we continue to do that even as our 7th, 8th grade crops get better and better type thing?
You have to berate them so that they want to be better.
I don't think that's the case.
I'm pretty sure that's what you should do. I think that's how it works.
John Veal in the chat is saying the theory is that kids start to believe and then work hard. Is there any merit to that?
Yeah, that's the whole merit. Like I just said, we want kids to decide they want to be really good at wrestling, and then when they decide that, they're going to put a whole lot of effort and attention into it, and then they're actually going to become really good. We've had to have
how much of that is
I coach John Veal's
like
by the way. He's great. He makes me smile.
Well, how much of that is on a coach? When a kid isn't having success in elementary, middle school, and goes, "I'm not having success. I don't want to do this." Yada yada yada.
I think a lot of it's on the coach.
Yeah.
I won't say all of it, but there's a decent chunk where, I don't want to take the whole time talking about coaching theory, but yeah, I think there's a decent amount.
I would agree, because there's something about the environment that's making them not want to come back too, because they only view 100%. If they only view winning as the fun thing, then it's going to be really hard because almost everyone loses at the beginning, except for JD.
How long, Ben, have you been running AWA?
Heartland's been 11 years now.
So it's been that long. What's you're a deep thinker. What's something that what's something you did wrong? You guys have had a ton of success, but what's something you look back and go, man, we were wrong on this?
I think we've guessed mostly right, or the way we predicted it. And so obviously that the guess though in 2011 started with Coach Messering had been coaching at the high school level. So we took a lot of his theories and kind of added to them. The one I would say we were a little bit wrong on is we pushed back on early competition too much. I think I've talked about this before, too much, to the point where some kids were going all the way through their middle school years without competing that much, and then they were just way behind when they got to high school. So now we kind of have a structure where it's like, okay, at 8 and 9 years old, we want them, and so my daughter followed the system, right? We want them to get 10 to 15 matches, which is like three to 4 local tournaments. Whereas some dudes are going to national tournaments at 8, which is, I think, effing stupid.
I'm with you there.
Just 3 or 4 local tournaments, get a few matches in. And so my daughter at age 9 did 16 matches last year. And then slowly rate. So we go by our 2-year increments because that's what they in Wisconsin, that the U State tournament goes 15, 14, my birth year, of course, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 8, 9, or 9, 8. So we do it by that. So we go like 10 to 15 matches. And then by the time you're 14, 15, which means you're about ready to go into high school, we're recommending them get almost a high school level season, so 30 to 40 matches, because we want them ready for high school. And then obviously the ones who are really serious at that age, we're really pushing them to move on. And we don't start them early, so I really don't recommend any of them do matches in the fall. Some of them do. We don't really recommend it. Start in like December and then try to go all the way through the youth nationals if you're a 14-year-old, which is that's still a 7-month season. It's pretty long for that age. Yeah, so that's kind of our lower thing. So we pushed back a little too hard, so we're we made that adjustment.
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, want to do one of the voicemail questions?
Let's do it.
There's a Cradle question from David from Washington. So get ready to learn. We're ready for that one, Nico.
Listener, first-time caller, all that good stuff. This is David from Washington, and I just had a question for Ben, and it could be for everyone, but I wanted to ask, I wholeheartedly agree with, I believe Mike Mal had an article about it, and I believe you said it yourself, Ben, that the Cradle is the best move in wrestling. I could be wrong on you also saying that, but I wanted to ask, who do you think has the best Cradle of all time? My pick is David Taylor for that one. Other than yourself, Ben, again. And also, who has the best Cradle in college wrestling currently? My pick for that would be, I think, Sammy Sasso. Thank you very much, guys. Love the show. Keep doing what you do. Peace.
So is cradle the best move? Who is the best cradler? And then who's the best current cradler? Those are the questions, right?
Yep.
So I joke on the cradle being the best move. I don't think we should pick a best move. I think you should just use a move that's necessary for the situation. Although the cradle is very diverse and you can use it from a lot of places, and it also leads to a fall. So it does have a lot of good qualities as far as moves are concerned. Ones that come to mind for like all time, David Taylor and Ed Ruth. I mean, Ed Ruth was
one that came to my mind first.
Those long arms.
Because he used it both. Well, so I mean, David Taylor would majority cradle out of scrambles, which was great. But on top, it wasn't his main series. Whereas Ed Ruth used it both out of scrambles and on top, right? So those would be the main two that come to my mind. I obviously could be forgetting someone. And then right now, I think Keegan's better than Sammy Sasso because, again, he uses it on scrambles and he uses it on top, where Sasso doesn't do a lot of top cradling.
Yeah. I think Ridge Love has a good cradle.
Ridge Love, he's a very good cradler, but he does scrambling and cradles. Evan Wick would not be a current athlete now. He has a really high level. It is mostly an outside cradle, and he doesn't, in my opinion, and I've told him this plenty of times, he doesn't cradle enough out of scrambles because with the length of his arms, he could just there's so many scenarios in which he could cradle. So he could be even a better cradler, but like as far as top cradling, Evan is really elite.
Yeah, the Ed was so synonymous with the cradle.
Yeah,
it's interesting with David because he is and was so good at cradles, but he got turns in so many different ways. Like he could crab ride, he could just cross wrist.
So a lot of David's cradles were off of scrambles.
Yes.
Like it wasn't top cradling.
Yes. I do think it's like the best move. I mean, it's a weird thing to say it, but like, man, just something that can end a match, something that you can get to from so many different ways.
So many places.
It's just really cool. Offense, defense, exchanges, whatever.
Yes.
Rick Wassmer in the chat saying Jay Jaggers and Bubba Jenkins.
Jaggers had a great cradle.
I mean, did Bubba
obviously had a famous cradle, but he didn't really cradle that much.
Mm-hmm. He had one famous cradle. I don't remember him cradling a lot, actually. Jaggers was like, it blew my mind. I just remember that 2009 run was just like, it's just unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so good move.
Great move.
Chris from New Jersey has a question for Ben. Let's hear from Chris.
Hey, this is Chris from New Jersey, watching the Poland Open Finals and the award ceremonies, and I see the winners and their coaches are receiving wheelie suitcases. I thought that's an odd award. Wondering if Ben, in his international travels, has anything odd or unique like that he received aside from the typical medals.
Yeah, did you ever get anything weird? Like horse meat?
I think we got a bunch of tea, and I don't remember which Russian tournament it was. Something like that, though. Something that was like, this is weird. I don't really drink tea. Why would you assume I drank tea? Kind of a strange gift.
That was it? Just tea?
Well, I didn't wrestle internationally that long. I only wrestled internationally. One trip in 2008. So 2008 or 2007, I graduated, wrestled the open trials, and then the fall I did all the local. So I did Sunkist, NYC, Hargobin in Canada, and then in the spring I went to Russia and Ukraine, and then it was open and trials time, and then I quit wrestling for MMA, and then when I decided to come back a little bit, I went to Cuba and I went to Belarus in 2010. So yeah, I just didn't go over main places internationally.
Gotcha. Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Wasser says Kyle Snyder.
Didn't someone get a car? Wasn't it like
Jimmy Kennedy?
Jimmy
Kennedy got a car. But then I think he just sold it as soon as he got it. He's like,
how do you take that back?
It's like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's going to cost way more than the cost of the car probably to ship it back to America. That's pretty cool. Kozak says the suitcase is an incredibly practical award, in my opinion.
I'd rather get a suitcase than a medal.
What
are you gonna
really?
do? What are you gonna do with the medal? Hang it from a wire in your room?
I don't know. Is it the Olympic gold medal?
Yeah, I think they should start giving different clothing packages. Like, I think a singlet or a bag for kids is way better than a medal. Yeah, start doing this. Okay. One chairman gives a jacket.
Save the parents a little bit of money.
Some shoes, you give them some shoes. You know,
if they were smart,
nice sunglasses, a hat, like just all kinds of different awards.
If youth tournaments were smart, they'd be doing more like T-shirts instead of trophies and stuff. You know, That's free marketing. The kid wins it. He puts a T-shirt on. He's wearing around with all his friends.
Yeah, they have that.
Yeah, you could win this too, but you got to compete at this tournament.
I like the cowboy hats at Doc B.
The cowboy hat is a good one.
Go on. Yeah,
that's a classic.
And then you always get the fun pictures.
Yeah, the cheesehead.
The cheeseheads, you know, when the guy gets a cheesehead, I like that one.
Would they actually get a cheesehead at the cheesehead?
I thought if they won it, they got one, didn't they?
I don't know.
Don't they?
I don't ever go to the tournament. I look at the results and.
I just thought they got a block of pepper jack there if they wanted. I didn't realize they got the Lambo edition.
I thought they did. I could be wrong on that, but I thought they did. If you won it.
Keith Gossett brings up a good one. The Golden Corn Cob in Iowa for the Corn Cob Nationals.
Man,
I can't. I don't like that one because I don't like anyone who just says a Nationals behind their name. It pisses me off.
Oh yeah.
Doc B. Doc B doesn't call itself.
How many national tournaments are there now? 900.
700.
You know, everybody's a national.
A lot of All-Americans.
Oh yeah, Frank Pop has those
journeyman.
The hammers.
Big hammers. Those are cool.
Those are cool.
Edinburgh gives away like basically medieval battle garb.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You basically
isn't it Clarion Open that does the gladiator?
Yeah.
Mask.
I think you get
the helmet. The helmet.
The helmet.
There should be a There should be a FloWrestling medieval warrior series, and one of them gives you get a sword at one, you get a shield at another, and a helmet,
and then you eventually have the entire suit of armor.
You look like a
Can you collect them all?
Then
it's not the Triple Crown. It's like the Golden Knight series.
Oh wow, this is some great branding. Some youth wrestling parents be spending some money on that one. You got the Golden Knight series. You have like 9 tournaments: helmet, shield, sword. You got a what's the one thing where you like a javelin, spear,
javelin. You got a javelin.
Yeah, these are all
what
essential.
Is it? The Joust.
Yeah,
my kid is the ultimate Golden Knight.
Yes, he won Golden Knight Nationals.
That would play well on Facebook for the parents for sure.
Oh, baby, they'd love it.
Miss Pentalio in the chat saying Royce Alger won a vacuum at the Eureka.
Hey, there we go.
That is so funny. Like, imagine, how do you get that home? You vacuum. What about these swords these people are winning? How are they getting those through security?
Yeah,
exactly.
You better have bust to Edinburgh. you got to check
that's a good poll question, though. I mean, best youth tournament trophies out there. I'd have no idea. I wonder where they are. You know,
youth, college, international.
What do you get when you win Tulsa Nationals? What do you get?
Something Eagle related.
You get the big Eagle trophy. Yeah.
Okay.
And a picture with Dan Hodge. Used to.
The stop signs are obviously iconic at Fargo. So
yeah, that's true.
I like those just because they've been the same for so long and they're pretty iconic for that reason.
We need more like trophies in college rivalries as well.
Oh yeah.
The NDSU, SCSU does the kettlebell. They have the big old kettlebell that they wrestle for, but it's always fun. You see it more on like football, you know, when they win and they go over to the other sideline and they take the trophy and they're like, well, that's ours.
Didn't Minnesota and Wisconsin, don't they have like a Paul Bunyan axe or something like that?
Yeah, in football. In football, but you're right. I don't know of many of those in wrestling. I mean, football's got a ton of them. Wrestling should have some of those.
Yeah, we need some of those. Let's go. Come on, get us started, guys.
Yeah.
All right. I think Virginia and Virginia Tech have something. Commonwealth Cup, maybe?
I actually think I outsourced this on Twitter once, like 4 years ago.
Whoa. Outsourcing JD.
No, let me see if I can find it.
Part of the problem here in America. Just outsourcing everything. Nikki Freestyle says, which year was the best NCAA tournament and why was it 2019?
2019 was pretty lit. There was 20. Which year were the finals? When did Gwizdowski wrestle Snyder? That
16.
year was awesome.
Madison Square
That
Garden.
was in New York, right?
That was awesome.
You got to go with Bo Nickel's pin, though, right?
Yeah, that's the year. Yeah, that was.
I don't
was
think
18. That was 18, right?
I'll take.
Oh,
yeah, I think.
No,
was it?
I want
wrong?
16 then. I want 16. 16 was awesome.
I'll take 18 with Ohio State and Penn State, two great teams, nickel pins to win it. I think there was a really good. Did NC State and Michigan like tie for fourth that year? I mean, there were some good battles there for trophies too.
Yeah, and I think, man, just think about what else you had. You had what was that the year? That was the year
that in Cleveland?
Spencer
Was that Cleveland?
yes, it was lit. And Spencer and Yanni both won titles as true freshmen. Yanni's run was insane. He had Heil in the quarters. His match against Fairness
Joseph beat Imar
for the second time. You had of course the iconic Bo Miles match. Kyle Snyder won his title. Mike Mock beat Hot. That was actually very sad for my buddy Kyle Brackey. There's a little bit of mourning there. Who won 33? Gross. I think that was Gross over Micic.
Yeah, 18 was the best, man.
It was
and Snyder beat
awesome.
Kuhn, right?
Yeah.
Snyder beat Kuhn, or was that?
That was a fun match. Yeah.
18 because Kuhn had beat him in the duel. 18 to me, it's really not even close.
Honestly, it's not. For overall NCAAs, I don't think it's close. That's the greatest team. We will never see another team race like that. I really don't think.
Yeah,
we won't see anything like two juggernauts like that. I mean, yeah, we've talked about that Ohio State team that didn't win ad nauseum, just how great that was, and they could not beat Penn State. It was insane. Yeah, there were a lot of exciting little moments there. Anyway.
I did outsource this, by the way.
Okay.
Back in 2019. There's the Dan Gable traveling trophy for Iowa and Iowa State, which that one, they need to make a bigger deal out of that one because that's not really a thing.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, you can see pictures of it right here.
They don't even talk about it.
I know. They need to put it on the sideline or whatever.
Maybe because it's been in Iowa since...
Yeah, maybe. That probably is. The big Ivy rivalry.
You know what would be a boss move with that trophy?
Boss moves.
Is because I don't think Iowa State's ever beaten Iowa with Tom Brands. If you're Tom Brands in Iowa, you don't even bring the trophy. It's like, yeah, we didn't even bother bringing it.
I think that's basically what it's become.
That's probably what happens, honestly. We're not bringing it.
The big Ivy rivalry trophy for Rutgers and Princeton. The Rupp Cup for Franklin and Marshall versus Millersville. The Kettlebell. The Ohio and Kent State have their duel called the Grudge Match, and they wrestle for a trophy.
I got a piece so bad, JD. Can you
oh my gosh!
Battle of the Berg's Belt.
You lost Ben at Rupp Cup.
I didn't quit, Christian Piles. We're at time.
You would quit if I took it another minute, but it is time
another
to go.
5 minutes. I might say, like Christian, I'm gonna need a minute here.
Yeah, it's okay. We are done. The show is over. We ended it at Rupp Cup. Thank you all so much for listening.
Rupp Cup.
Thank you to Shane Sparks and
Good seeing you guys.
And JD Raider. We will see you next time. Be well. Happy Wednesday. Let's go get some tacos, JD. Ooh.